Today's video was sponsored by Storyblocks Video.
So a while ago, my friend Jays was trying to convince me that the iPhone 11 Pro's video mode could probably outdo the Canon C200.
Oh, because that has a Pro in the name.
iPhone 11 Pro Max, guys.
Oh, I'm sorry, this is not called the Canon C200 Pro.
I have 4K 60p.
This is 4K 60p too. We're not actually doing that. Clearly, this is gonna win.
Let's do it. You want to bet on
think
it?
that's gonna win? We're not actually doing this. We're actually doing this. So to settle this bet, we are comparing the iPhone 11 Pro Max, as ridiculous as it sounds, to the Canon C200 Pro. So
No Pro.
Here's what I found.
Oh, here's
Sorry.
what
So this is the iPhone 11 Pro versus the Canon C200. We filmed in RAW for the C200 and converted it into Rec 709 in DaVinci Resolve, and we also boosted the contrast a little bit so it looks a bit closer to the iPhone footage. Now, when there's plenty of light for the cameras to work with, it's actually not too difficult to get the iPhone to look like the C200. The iPhone's 4K actually looks very impressive. At a glance, the iPhone footage most definitely looks sharper and more crisp compared to the unsharpened C200 footage, but what's interesting is that even though it looks sharper, it's not necessarily more detailed. Just compare the level of detail on the model's hair. The iPhone looks sharper but is actually less detailed, and as most of you would know, this is most likely due to the in-camera sharpening on the iPhone. And in this next shot, we have a high dynamic range situation. The highlights are a bit harsh on the iPhone, but other than that, I think the iPhone did better than the C200 in this shot. We can see deeper into the shadows on the iPhone, and it's also revealing quite a bit more detail while still retaining some of those highlights. Meanwhile, there is quite a bit of noticeable noise in the shadows of the C200. And here we have an extreme exposure difference, really bright outside, but really dark inside. This would no doubt be a struggle for any camera, the C200 included. That window is on the verge of clipping, and inside you can see some shadow detail, but not much. I was actually expecting the iPhone to do better in this situation since it's exactly scenes like this that could benefit from HDR post-processing, but apparently this is quite extreme even for HDR. We're getting a lot of clipped blacks and not much detail at all. Now, not sure if this counts as cheating, but if we lift the shadows of the iPhone footage a bit in post, we can actually recover a rather surprising amount of detail that would otherwise be invisible. And it does so quite cleanly as well, I must say, so that for me was quite a nice surprise. Now, traveling to an abandoned building like this and filming all of this footage inside was not only hard work, but it was also sort of dangerous as well. If only I wasn't comparing cameras, but I needed some footage of an abandoned building, I would have just downloaded some from Storyblocks Video instead of having to go film it myself. It is so easy, like I just type in the keywords abandoned building and it shows me a whole collection of professionally shot clips of abandoned buildings up to 4K. And because I'm on the unlimited video plan, I get unlimited downloads of anything in the video member library and I'm free to use them anywhere I like, including here on YouTube. It's priced quite affordably and it even includes some motion graphic templates that you can use. Check out the link in the description to learn more about Storyblocks Video. Now, over here in this shot, I tilted the cameras up to reveal the sky. On the C200, the sky is completely clipped. On the iPhone, it's pretty obvious that it automatically dropped the exposure as the scene got brighter, but there's definitely some HDR blending going on as well. You can notice it a bit more than usual here because I actually slowed the clip down from 60p to 24p. Especially when I tilt it back down, you can see just for a split second when it releases the HDR blending on the sky. Now, it's not 100% seamless as you're looking at it right here, but considering that it's working in real time, that's already super impressive for me. And here in this clip, I'm really just showing how big of a difference the iPhone's video stabilization makes. The C200 doesn't have any sort of stabilization, and the iPhone was actually mounted on the C200, so they were subject to the same degree of motion. There's really not too much to say about this aside from showing you the difference it makes. Now, as impressive as the iPhone is, truth is, there is still a certain harshness to its image when compared against something like the C200. It's a bit difficult to describe it exactly, but you just kind of perceive it as you take in the whole image. The C200 has that graceful edge to the image. It looks more refined, more cinematic, and it's probably due to the more natural gradation as it transitions between different tones in the frame, and it doesn't suffer from the unnaturally contrasty look as a result from digital sharpening, something that you might see quite often on the iPhone. And simply filming on a larger sensor, that is a look that you simply cannot recreate from a smaller sensor.
So that has been my comparison of the Canon C200 versus the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think? So while I was comparing two very digital video cameras at the very exact same location, Jay's here was shooting analog 6x6 film on a Hasselblad. And at some point, I'm pretty sure you put on an anamorphic lens on this.
Go watch.
Go
watch.
check out the video. It's basically huge format, anamorphic, analog goodness. Check it out. I'll link it somewhere up here in the corner below. So that's pretty much it for today. If you enjoyed today's video, do consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon for more videos just like this. And I'll see you in the next video.